The arrival. The sky was dark, filled with clouds of smoke and ash. But it was not the weather that made the city tremble. It was the shapes moving above, massive and alien. Cutting through the clouds like shadows, people screamed and ran, their voices lost in the roar of alarms, sirens, and the distant sounds of explosions. Lyra stood on a small hill outside the city, her heart pounding in her chest. She had been trained to stay calm in emergencies, but this was unlike anything she had seen. The alien fleet was enormous. Ships bigger than skyscrapers hovered above, their surfaces glowing with strange, pulsing lights. Each ship moved with precision, scanning the city below, as if they were searching for something or someone. Lyra's eyes were drawn to the streets, where chaos had begun. People ran in all directions, trying to escape the alien weapons that rained down from above. Buildings burned, glass shattered, and the ground shook under the alien bombardment. And then she saw him, a lone human soldier moving calmly through the city, his armor scratched and scorched, but his stance firm and steady. Lyra's breath caught. She had heard stories of human weakness, of humanity being no match for advanced alien forces. But this man, he was different. His movements precise, almost effortless, as he guided panicked civilians to safety while dodging alien fire. His name was Kale, and Lyra could not take her eyes off him. He moved like a shadow, appearing where he was needed most, disappearing before the aliens could notice. Bullets and alien plasma flew around him, yet he seemed untouchable. He ducked, rolled, and fired, his weapons taking down alien drones with sharp, accurate shots. Lyra whispered to herself, no alien could ever match him. The words escaped without thought, a mixture of awe and fear. She felt her heart pounding, but also a strange sense of hope. Here was a human who was not just surviving. He was fighting, protecting, and winning against impossible odds. As Kale moved through the city, he encountered a group of aliens attacking civilians. One of the aliens lunged at a small child, its claws ready to strike. Kale was faster, pushing the child aside and firing a pulse shot that struck the alien in the chest. The creature fell shrieking, but Kale didn't pause. He kept moving. Scanning the area for more threats, Lyra could hardly believe what she saw. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile, easy to defeat. Yet here was proof that strength came not only from technology, but from courage and will. Kale continued through the streets, each step purposeful, every action deliberate. The aliens seemed confused, taken aback by his speed and strategy. It was not just his skill with weapons that impressed Lyra. It was the way he thought, the way he adapted. Even in chaos, he had control, and his presence seemed to inspire others to act, to fight, to survive. From her vantage point on the hill, Lyra noticed small groups of civilians following Kale. Gaining courage from his actions, a man helped a woman over a broken wall. A child pointed at a fire to warn others, and the soldiers who were with Kale moved more confidently. Even under fire, Kale's calm presence created order out of chaos. But Lyra also noticed the dangers. The aliens were regrouping, their massive warships moving like predators closing in on prey. Kale paused briefly, scanning the sky, and Lyra held her breath. A sudden flash of light from above signaled the first real strike. A large alien weapon hitting a nearby building. The explosion shook the ground, throwing dust and debris into the air. Kale shouted orders to the humans around him, guiding them to safety with precise gestures. Lyra felt her chest tighten, knowing the battle was far from over. But unable to look away amid the destruction, Lyra thought about what she had always believed, that humans were fragile, that aliens were superior. But Kale was changing everything, proving that courage, strategy, and determination could turn the tide. He fired, dodged, and moved again, each action faster than the last, and in that moment, Lyra understood why no alien could match a human when that human had heart and skill combined. Her eyes followed him as he disappeared briefly behind a ruined building, only to reappear moments later, taking down another alien attacker. The city burned around them, but Kale's presence gave people hope, even if they did not understand why. Lyra whispered to herself once more, This is humanity at its best." The sky remained dark, the alien ship still looming above, but in the midst of fear and destruction, one truth shone clearly in her mind. Humans were not weak, and Kale was living proof. The air was thick with smoke, tension, and the hum of alien weapons. Lyra stayed on her hill, watching every move Kale made. She knew this was only the beginning, and she could not turn away, for what she was witnessing would change everything. First clash, The morning sun barely broke through the smoke and ash, painting the city in dull red and orange hues. Lyra followed from a safe distance as Kale led his small squad through the streets, their eyes sharp, weapons ready. Every corner seemed dangerous. Every shadow could hide an alien attacker. Kale moved confidently, scanning each street before stepping forward. Even with the chaos around him, he seemed to know where danger would strike first. Lyra's heart raced, but she could not look away. This was not just survival. It was a display of human skill and courage unlike anything she had seen. Suddenly, an alien strike team appeared from the side streets. Their claws and energy rifles aimed at the humans. Kale did not hesitate. He raised his weapon and fired with calm precision. Each shot found its target, knocking alien soldiers back without wasting a single bullet. Lyra held her breath as a massive alien lunged at one of Kale's team. With a swift movement, Kale pushed the human aside and struck the alien with a heavy blow that sent it crashing into a wall. The fight moved like a deadly dance, Kale in the center. Coordinating each attack without saying a word, Lyra whispered, "He is unstoppable," her voice trembling with awe. As the battle continued, Kale's team began to follow his tactics, moving strategically, using cover and firing with focus. Aliens that had seemed powerful and terrifying now hesitated. Confused by the human's sudden coordination, Kale spotted a large alien sniper perched on a rooftop. Aiming at the fleeing civilians without hesitation, he sprinted forward, dodging plasma fire, his movements fast and smooth. He jumped onto a low wall, took careful aim, and fired, hitting the sniper with a perfect shot. Lyra gasped, unable to believe the precision, and yet she knew this was just the beginning of his skill. The squad moved together, inspired by Kale's leadership, each member trusting his judgment completely. A group of aliens charged from a nearby alley. Roaring, their claws sharp and deadly, Kyle met them head-on, blocking an attack and striking back with controlled power. The aliens stumbled, surprised by the human's speed and cunning. Lyra noticed the fear in their movements, fear of something they had never faced before. Human determination. She felt her heart beat faster, not just from fear but from admiration. This human soldier was more than a fighter. He was a symbol of humanity's strength. Suddenly, a massive explosion shook the street, throwing dust and debris everywhere. Kale shielded his team and the civilians, pushing them behind cover. The aliens took advantage of the confusion. But Kale was faster, firing and dodging with deadly precision. Lyra felt a chill as she watched him face the alien commander directly. A towering figure with glowing eyes. Kale did not flinch, his eyes locked on the enemy, every muscle ready for action. The two circled each other, like predators testing strength. While the rest of the city burned around them, Lyra could hardly breathe, her hands gripping the edge of her hiding spot. She whispered, "No one else could do this." Only a human, Kyle struck with perfect timing, dodging an alien strike and countering with a blow that sent the commander stumbling. The alien roared, recovering quickly, but Kale's strategy forced it to retreat. Every step, every shot, every movement was calculated, and the aliens began to fall back. Lyra saw the humans gaining confidence. Inspired by Kale's courage and skill, even ordinary citizens began helping, throwing debris, blocking paths, and guiding the wounded. It was not just a battle of strength, but a battle of wits and heart. Lyra realized that this clash was proving something bigger than victory. It was proving humanity itself. As the dust settled and the first wave of aliens retreated, Lyra stayed hidden, her eyes following Kyle. He helped a wounded soldier to his feet, gave instructions calmly, and prepared for the next attack. The city was damaged, civilians scared, and the aliens regrouping. But Kale's presence gave hope, a light in the darkness. Lyra could feel the suspense rising, knowing that the next wave would be even more dangerous. She whispered to herself, "If this is only the beginning, then humanity is stronger than anyone believed." The air remained tense, filled with smoke, fear, and anticipation. Lyra could not turn away, for Kale had shown her the truth, and the battle was far from over. The secret weapon. The city was quiet for a brief moment, the echoes of the first clash fading into smoke and rubble. Lyra moved carefully through the streets, keeping a safe distance behind Kyle. She had to see more, had to understand how one human could hold back an entire alien strike force. Kale stopped suddenly in an alley, his eyes scanning the shadows. Then he turned to his squad and spoke in low, calm tones, giving instructions that made no unnecessary noise. Lyra noticed how his voice carried authority, not fear. and his team listened without hesitation. Kale led them through a narrow passage, walls charred and broken, until they reached a hidden lab deep underground. Lyra crouched behind a pillar, peeking through the smoke, her eyes wide with curiosity. Inside the lab, machines hummed and glowed with strange energy, and humans moved with purpose, testing weapons and preparing defenses. Kyle walked among them, checking devices, giving precise instructions, and training others in combat techniques. Lyra realized this was no ordinary human soldier. He was the mind behind humanity's secret plan. The one who had turned fear into power, she whispered. This is why no alien could match a human. Her voice trembling with awe. Aliens had always underestimated humans, thinking them weak and predictable. But Kale's work proved they were wrong. The weapons were designed to work with human skill, combining strategy, technology, and human intuition in ways aliens could not anticipate. Lyra watched as Kale demonstrated a new device, a compact energy cannon that reacted to his movements. A soldier fired it under his guidance, and the shot took down a moving alien drone with perfect precision. Kyle smiled faintly, satisfied with the result, and moved on to the next group. Lyra felt a surge of excitement, realizing that humanity's strength was more than muscle or armor. It was creativity, courage, and teamwork. Suddenly the lab's alarms blared, red lights flashing urgently. Kale's expression hardened as he rushed to a large monitor. Aliens were approaching the city's outer walls, regrouping for a second. Stronger attack. Lyra's heart raced, knowing the danger was greater than before. Kale turned to his squad and the lab technicians, issuing orders that moved like a well-rehearsed dance. He divided the humans into groups, assigning weapons, positions, and escape routes with precision. Every detail was planned, every possibility considered. Lyra could feel the tension rising, each second heavier than the last. As Kale prepared, he glanced at Lyra, noticing her presence for the first time. He did not speak, but his eyes seemed to convey trust and confidence. Lyra felt a strange mix of fear and inspiration, knowing she was witnessing something extraordinary. The aliens would soon arrive, and the humans were ready to meet them head-on. Kyle activated a series of energy shields around the city, devices that could absorb alien blasts and redirect power strategically. He instructed a small group to take advanced weapons to hidden sniper points. Another group prepared traps in the streets, designed to slow alien movements and create confusion. Lyra realized that Kale had turned the city itself into a battlefield where humans held the advantage. Outside, the sky darkened as the alien ships returned, their shadows stretching across the city like giants. Kale led his squad to the rooftop of the lab, scanning the horizon with sharp, calculating eyes. Lyra's heart pounded, knowing the aliens had underestimated humans again. She watched Kale signal the squads below, their movements synchronized with military precision. It was not just a fight, it was a statement. Humans were not weak, and Kyle was their secret weapon. The air crackled with energy, tension, and anticipation. Lyra whispered to herself, "This is more than survival. This is humanity showing its true power." Kale stood tall, ready for the coming clash, the city and its people depending on him. And for the first time, Lyra felt a spark of hope that humanity could stand against any alien threat. The first shadow of an alien ship passed over the city. Kyle raised his hand, signaling the start of the battle. Lyra took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on him. She knew the fight ahead would be dangerous, terrifying, and unlike anything humans had faced before. But Kyle's courage and brilliance had given them a chance, a hope that even the strongest aliens could not ignore. And in that moment, Lyra understood fully why no alien could match a human. For the human heart, combined with intelligence, courage, and unity, was a force unlike any other. The Battle of the Colony. The sky darkened as the alien fleet descended upon the city once more. Their ships cast long shadows over the streets, and the ground trembled under the weight of their engines. Lyra's heart pounded as she watched from the rooftop, her eyes fixed on Kale. He stood tall, scanning the horizon, his face calm but full of determination. Around him, humans moved like a single unit, soldiers and civilians alike following his lead. Every barricade, every weapon, every trap was ready, waiting for the aliens' advance. Kale signaled to his squad, and they moved into position. The first wave of aliens struck, their claws tearing through concrete, their weapons firing deadly beams. But Kale's humans were prepared, ducking behind barriers, dodging attacks and striking with precision. Lyra watched in awe as Kale led from the front, guiding soldiers, directing civilians and taking down aliens with unmatched skill. One alien charged straight at him, towering and monstrous. Kale didn't hesitate, sidestepping and delivering a powerful strike that sent it crashing into a wall. The others froze, shocked by his speed and bravery, and humans gained courage from his actions. The battle raged through the streets, buildings shaking under alien fire. Civilians helped where they could, throwing debris, guiding the wounded, and setting off traps Kale had designed. Aliens screamed in confusion, their numbers overwhelming but their coordination failing against Kale's tactics. Lyra felt a shiver run down her spine as she realized the humans were winning not by force, but by cleverness and courage. Kale spotted the alien commander emerging from a massive ship, its glowing eyes fixed on him. He knew the final confrontation was near, and he moved with deadly confidence. Lyra whispered, "This is it. The turning point." Her eyes wide with tension, Kale faced the commander, their movements like a deadly dance. Every strike from the alien was fast and powerful, but Kale's counters were faster. He dodged, struck, and used the environment to his advantage, forcing the commander to retreat step by step. The humans around him gained strength from watching, their fear turning into resolve. Even ordinary citizens joined in, throwing stones, using makeshift weapons, and creating distractions. The aliens were powerful, but they had underestimated one thing: the heart of humanity. Lyra's hands shook as she watched the fight. Knowing the outcome could change the fate of the colony, Kale's squad moved strategically, flanking the alien forces, firing advanced weapons with deadly accuracy. The city itself became a trap, streets funneling aliens into ambushes, energy shields deflecting their attacks. The alien commander roared, frustrated and enraged. Kale did not falter, keeping calm, using every skill he had taught and learned. He fired a precise shot at the commander's armor, creating a crack that revealed a weak point. The squad rushed in, taking advantage of the opening, and the commander faltered. Lyra held her breath as the massive alien stumbled, defeated by humans working together. The aliens began to retreat, their ships pulling back into the sky. The city was damaged, smoke rising from broken buildings, but the humans had survived. Kale moved among his squad, checking on the injured, giving orders for recovery and defense. Lyra realized that this was more than a victory. It was proof that humans could stand against any threat. Their courage, intelligence, and teamwork had overcome raw power. She felt a sense of pride swelling in her chest, knowing she had witnessed history. The air was thick with tension, relief, and anticipation of what might come next. Kyle looked toward the horizon. Knowing the aliens would return but confident in humanity's strength, Lyra whispered, "No alien could ever match a human. Not when we fight together." The city slowly began to recover, the people inspired by what they had seen, even in ruins. Hope shone brightly, fueled by Kale's bravery and leadership. Lyra followed him quietly, knowing this was not the end of the battle. But for now, humanity had proven itself, stronger than anyone, stronger than any alien. And in that moment, she understood the truth she had been waiting for. The humans had not just survived, they had shown their true power, and Kale was the symbol of that power, the heart of a species that refused to be broken. Humanity's triumph. The sun rose slowly over the city, its light cutting through the smoke and shadows left by the battle. Lyra stood on a high rooftop, looking down at the streets below. The city was scarred, buildings broken, and fires still smoldering. But the people were alive, moving cautiously yet with a new energy in their steps. Kale walked among them, his armor scratched, his body tired, but his eyes calm and full of resolve. He had fought not just for survival, but for humanity's place in the universe. Lyra's heart swelled with admiration, knowing she had witnessed something extraordinary. The alien fleet had retreated, their ships disappearing into the clouds. Their leader had been defeated, and the humans had proven that strategy, courage, and heart were stronger than raw alien power. Lyra followed Kale as he checked on the squad, making sure every soldier was accounted for. He offered words of encouragement to the civilians, guiding them to safety. Every action was precise, yet compassionate, showing that strength and kindness could exist together. As the day passed, humans began to rebuild, working together to repair the damage. Kale supervised from the front lines, offering guidance and protection. Lyra noticed the change in the people's eyes, a spark of confidence and pride that had never been there before. The humans had faced an enemy they were told they could not defeat, and yet, they had triumphed, not through superior weapons alone, but through unity, intelligence, and determination. Kale's presence had inspired them, showing that a single human with courage and skill could change the fate of many. Lyra followed him to the edge of the city where the battle had been fiercest. The ground was still smoking, debris scattered everywhere. She watched as Kale knelt to help a wounded child, lifting them gently to safety. It was not the grand gestures of war that impressed her the most, but the quiet strength, the care and humanity he showed amidst chaos. She whispered to herself, "This is why no alien could match a human." Her voice was filled with awe, fear, and respect all at once. The surviving aliens had learned a lesson that humans had never forgotten. They could not underestimate courage, ingenuity, and the heart of a human being. Kale stood at the highest point of the city, looking out at the horizon. He knew this was not the end, that new threats could come, but humanity had shown its strength, and the people looked to him as proof that they could endure, fight, and survive. Lyra approached quietly, standing beside him. For the first time, Kale turned and looked at her directly. There was no need for words, for both knew the truth. Humans were not weak, and in every strike, every plan, and every act of courage, they had proven it. The city below buzzed with life once more, the people rebuilding, helping one another. Hope was stronger than fear, and determination brighter than despair. Lyra felt tears prick at her eyes, a mix of relief and admiration. Humans had not just survived, they had triumphed. And Kale, the soldier, the leader, the symbol of humanity, had shown the universe what it meant to be human. As the sun climbed higher, casting light over the city, Lyra whispered one last time, "No alien could ever match a human." The words carried hope, strength, and pride. The battle was over, but the story of humanity's courage would live forever. And in that moment, the world knew the truth. Humans were strong, resilient, and unstoppable, and Kale had shown them the way.